Hey everyone, and welcome to Xcom 2. Let's get right into it, shall we? This is Dylan from the Losers at Work. I hope you guys enjoy this review. I've been playing this since launch as much as I possibly can. That's why I've been spending so much time paring down the hours of footage I have to show you guys kind of a good little snippet. So I figured we'd start off just with the first tactical tutorial that they give you. It's pretty good. I didn't want to show any of the cinematics because I think that kind of ruins it. They're very good. Everything's in universe, very reminiscent of the Enemy Unknown. So if you like that game, you're gonna like this game. Okay, so let's get right into it. Sound. This game has great sound. It's not perfect. It's a little repetitive, especially when you play it for a couple hours. But the music is very dramatic, and it's very, well, it's very similar to the original music from the first Xcom, Enemies Unknown. So it's getting a 68. I mean, 68's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. As you can see, there's dynamic cinematics within missions, and I know this is the tutorial, so everyone thinks that that's the most polished mission that you're ever going to do, and I'm several hours in. Everything's pretty polished. We'll get to this concealment mechanic here in a minute, because damn, that changes the game. Okay, so next we have environment. Environment's a very important aspect in XCOM, because if you don't feel like you're part of a team, you're not going to play it right. It gets an 85. I feel like I am part of XCOM, leading them, and I want my people to succeed. I have like a genuine link with the people I send on missions, especially if I send them on more than one. Graphics. For some reason, something bothers me about the graphics of this game. It's very similar to the first game, which, you know, works really well for environment and sound, but doesn't work so great in a sequel. You think that the graphics should be better, and I'm running on the highest settings, and you know, everything's fine. Runs smooth-ish. Got a couple bugs, I'll show you later, but overall, not bad. I'm only going to give the graphics a 75. You know, solid C. Basically, I wished they would have improved their engine slightly. Not a lot, just a little. Moving on to gameplay. Gameplay, solid. If the gameplay was bad in a game like this, you couldn't play it. You know, it's not an art game, it's not a music game. You have to have good, solid fundamentals, otherwise the game is not good. It gets a 95. It's like the highest thing I've ever rated something. Innovation. This game is not terribly innovative. You know, we're living in a time of Fallout 4 and Metal Gear Solid 5 when stealth is huge, and it took 2K and Firaxis this long to get a concealment mechanic. But I mean, it's totally different than how you played in the first game. You know, instead of the aliens being sneaky, you're being sneaky. Changes, but they still only get a 70. Difficulty. Playing on normal, difficulty is far higher. I've lost far more guys than I have in the original game. On a good mission, I'll lose just one guy, because there's no more sectoids. The base unit in the game for the enemy is these general, like, soldier guys, and they can kill your dudes in one hit. And a sectoid really couldn't do that before. Also, these guys, the AI is way better in this game, so that's good and bad. It gets real annoying later on when you're fighting mechanical troops that have grenade launchers, or they can just bum rush you, and they can take, because there's a damage reduction mechanic that we'll talk about here in a second that kind of takes away a little bit of the fun. So like I was saying, difficulty 85. Very hard, unless you are very good. I'm gonna enjoy watching a Let's Play of like an Iron Man version of this, or a extreme difficulty one. We'll just see, probably something I'm just totally missing. Fun. Difficult concept. I think fun is the lowest rating on this whole game, and I don't want that to be misconstrued. The game is fun. The game has cool mechanics. However, the game is frustrating as all fuck, because the autosave system in the game, in Xcom Enemy Unknown, you just saved right before every mission, you just start over. Everything's fine, you know what to do. In this one, it autosaves automatically every turn, and then after the third turn passes, it overwrites the last one with the newest one. And it just keeps doing that. That's annoying. It's not a lot of time, especially with how fast this game moves compared to the first one. You're going to see a lot more troops moving a lot faster towards you than you would anywhere else in the first game. So I had to give it a 60, which is not going to drag its grade down all that much, but still fun. I mean, it's not below 50, so it's still good. Longevity. I'm going to play this game a bunch. I played the first one a bunch. I'm going to play this one a bunch. 70. Not great, but good. I'm sure I'll get a lot of hours out of it. Story 75. So far, story solid. Has kind of the XCOM twist we're always looking for, where something is happening behind the shadows, but we don't know what it is until it's too late. And for those of you that played the first game, it seems to be pretty similar. The aliens are using our genes to try to make some sort of perfect thing, but we don't know anything more besides that. So 75 on story. User, support, other. Both companies, 2K and Firaxis, are pretty good. I mean, they're good to their customers. They're good to their people. They make a lot of good games. So there's nothing bad, nothing super standout. Borderlands is good, but that was just produced, not created by. So 70. So, yeah. So at the end we'll have a tabulation of all the things and give it an average score. So it did pretty good. It's about average for a AAA title, I'd say. Trying to be unbiased here. Really like the whole idea of the game, but I'm trying not to let my favoritism ruin this review. Okay, so now that we got the numbers out of the way, we're gonna stop watching here before you guys get anything ruined for you, and we're gonna transfer over to something else. Check out some mechanics. Okay, so one of the first game mechanics I wanted to talk about, we have hacking in the game. Big thing, because now that the aliens are part of, they're now on Earth. They brought their technology with them, and we have to be able to interact with it. So one of the new things is that you can just walk up to a machine, break out your PDA, and try to hack the system. It's kind of like a random number depending on your level of technology versus the complexity of the machine. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is character customization. Not something you'd normally think of when you think of XCOM, but you can literally do whatever you want with your guy, which is super cool. So like, I made the Rock Band version of myself by just taking one of my people and just wiping their identity and replacing it with myself, right? And then, after you get a character just right, so like if I wanted to make one of my wife, I just hit save to pool, and in my next game, or in any other situation, she might pop up in my recruitment list, or I might get her from a reward. It's a really cool idea, and it lets you fix your characters exactly how you want them, including the decals on their guns, hats, which you unlock more as you unlock different armors, paint. See, yeah, cool hat, right? There are a lot of things you can do with this game and the customization. I highly recommend make yourself. It's hilarious. Next, we're going to talk about concealment. So they added like a stealth mechanic to the game because you're supposed to be guerrilla fighters. It's not something I've mastered yet, but basically you appear at the beginning of the map and you get your objective or whatever you're doing, and it gives you this little green icon above your head, and it lets you get your dudes into position and gives you small like bonuses to combat for your first strike. Now you have to be really careful. So basically what's happening right now is I can move my guys around without having to worry about them being spotted because the enemy's not looking. So I'm going to get everyone kind of in just some random spots and see what happens. See, go pretty far out here. They put some serious run speed behind these people. This lets you scout out, this lets you do basic stuff. And see, it gives you a red field. If you're in that field, they'll see you. If they patrol past where you are, and you're hidden behind something at least partially, and the red touches you, it will not go off. However, if you move, it will. So, it's kind of just you get to choose when the battle starts, basically. Doesn't always give it to you, and some of your units, like rangers, can actually get perks to make it last longer, and give them other bonuses. So, try it out. It's not bad, it's just different. So the last thing I want to talk about is the story. It's going to be a little weird. As you can see at the top, we have the Avatar Project. It's the opposite of a normal Xcom game. You're not losing countries as you go, that you're not losing a war of attrition. You're actually fighting against them, building this project that we have no idea what it is. And so it's kind of, instead of worrying about controlling everything and containing it, you're more worried about moving quickly, but not so quickly that you ruin your guys. And so that's a huge departure from a regular XCOM game. You don't care about the different countries. There are no countries anymore. You don't care about anything but stopping the Avatar Project. So if you're going to start a game, keep that in mind. Don't do like I did and just kind of mess around for the first 20-30 minutes of the game and waste a bunch of time. So keep an eye on that gauge up top, and I hope you guys liked this review. It's a little different than I normally would do, but I really like the game. Just came out, so I figured I'd show you guys a little bit more than normal. So thank you guys for watching, and just as a reminder, the actual score for this game that we're at the Losers of Work are giving, unless one of them disagrees with me and I'll let them do their own video, is a 75.3, which is a solid game. I highly recommend it. You're not going to be disappointed. Thanks, guys.
The Advent Stonlancer was apparently outfitted with the intention of serving as a civilian peacekeeping unit within the city centers. Although they are equipped with weapons capable of administering non-lethal blows, recent reports indicate an increasingly aggressive stance taken by these units. The resistance is slightly more organized than I had imagined based on the rumors.
Tygan just sent word. The new Resistance Communications network is fully operational. Now we just have to spread the word. Now Now that we've established a link, we can use our intel resources to make contact with the local resistance cell in this region. Aside from getting us into the black site, our access to supplies should improve now that we've expanded our reach.
Market is open.